This is Jason's Electronics Repair. Welcome to my ER. How's everyone doing today? It's PSP day. So I went over all the parts for the PSP in a previous video of all the stuff that I've ordered, and I disassembled two of these. And then I have one that doesn't work. So I want to do a few tests because there's not a lot of information out there on the PSP. So what I want to do is I want to know if I can power a PSP with nothing connected to it. Now, I made this little device hooked to my power supply out of an old battery, and I plugged a DC jack in there. In one of the PSP teardown videos, I showed making this. So this will still clip on the board here, like so. I can still clip that on the board. So what I want to know is if this will draw power. And in order to do that, I need to turn it on. And the power on board is this board here. So it's not connected. So I either need to figure out how one of these turns on by what it brings to ground, as I'm assuming because it's a slide switch, it sends something to ground. One of these pins is drawn to ground if I do that, and then we just need to find out what one of these that is connected to on this side of the board, and then we can trace that back to the ribbon cable that is, I believe, right here. Let's look at the ribbon cable. Now I'm doing this all by feel here. I've never worked on a PSP before, but it should be simple to figure out. It is a pretty simple unit. It's got some large chips. But here is the ribbon cable. This ribbon cable does quite a few different things. It controls the buttons, the power, the trigger. So okay, so this is a separate ribbon. Okay, so this ribbon is for the inputs on the bottom row of a PSP. So this right here, these buttons here plug into this ribbon here. So this isn't going to be our power out. So our power out is definitely going to be this unit here. Flip it around. This sits in the PSP like this. So this will sit roughly here. And so this will connect to this right here. And we'll try to get this figured out here. So and then this will go. Does this fit in here? Does it fit in here like? Just gotta figure out this ribbon cable here. There we go. Okay, so now we have power. So we have the little power switch, we have the little power light. So now if I hook up some battery juice to this, I should be able to see a current draw on this unit. Hopefully, we're gonna see. Might need some more things connected. It may do some checks. So I'm gonna plug into my 3.6 volts for the battery board. And I'm going to plug that in on my power supply. I do not have it for the screen like I used to. Some issues with that. So I'm going to plug this in. So I have power to this when I turn it on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. I'm going to sit this in the power like so. I'm going to flip this over like that. Okay, so hopefully make this a little bit more so you can see it. And I'm going to turn on the power. And I'm getting a 10 milliamp draw on the battery. And now I'm going to flip the power on. It's drawing 130 milliamps and holding at 130 milliamps. Okay, if I trigger the power cycle again, I hold it. Okay, so it did turn off. So interesting. So so it's zero current now. If I flip it up, it boots up to 130 milliamps and then it holds at 130 milliamps. But I can interact with it again and I can turn it off. Let's see here. Can I hold it to turn it off again? There we go. Now I got it off. So that tells me the power board is doing what it needs to do. But what else does this unit need to run checks on to see if it will boot? And it's 130 idle current booting. I don't know. I knew they did drain power. It is 130 amps and idle draw for a unit. So let's do this. Let's turn off our power. Let's unhook this here. And let's add a screen to this. So we're going to come over here. We're going to add this screen to this unit here. We're going to see if we get something on the screen. Gotta be careful hooking these up. Okay, that's in. Now we're going to hook up this backlight, which I need to be careful of here. I need to flip this up gently. So this is a locking ring. Now, plug that in there. There we go. Gently tap that down because that is easily broken. Now, what we have here is a screen hooked up to this. Now we got to be careful. I'm going to plug in our battery again. It is turned off at the moment. I'm going to hold that like so. I'm going to hold that battery in there in the screen like so. I'm going to turn on my power. Not getting any current draw. Now I'm going to flip this up. I get a green light on there and it's sitting at 130 milliamps. Nothing on the screen. I'm not even sure if I'm getting a backlight. I am getting a green light on the PSP. So, and nothing on the screen. And the green light has gone off and the current has dropped. So it didn't receive any kind of button press or anything. So it just shut off on its own. Let's fire it up again. Nothing even flickers on the screen. What does that tell us? That doesn't tell us anything at the moment. Could be a bad screen, could still be a bad board. So we're just going to wait and see. It just drops to 120, and I want to see what it does. And then it just cycles down to no battery draw. Okay, so I'm going to turn off power supply. I'm going to hook my battery, and I'm going to try a different screen on here. So I'm going to gently undo that. And take that off. So that, like I said, that could be a bad screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my brand new screens right here. This is a brand spanking new screen. And we are going to hook this up. This is an IPS screen, so it has a weird ribbon hookup on it. So this may not work right away. It does need a modification done to it in order to let's back up a step here. Let's slow our roll before we mess up one of our IPS screens. I have what is supposedly a new or a working unit here. This one, this board is supposedly a working board. So let's just hook up and see what this does with this working board. So let's work on this here. Let me get some. We just label this stuff a little bit. You know me, I like my labels. So we're going to label this one. So it's PS2, PSP2. I'm going to place this label on this board here. Right there. And then this one is supposed to be a known good one. So we got known good KG1. I don't know why I didn't end it first, because my brain is not functioning. So we'll put that right there. All right, so let's take this known good board and this screen we were just using, and we will run the same exact test, this time with the known good board. So I'm just going to unplug this ribbon cable right here. So that is our board, and then I'm going to take this one. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, that having some kind of pressure switch on it. So this may need some slight modifications to do this. But this is how we learn. This is diagnostics without a schematic. So we're just going to do the power on this one. Power supply is off, so we're just going to hook this up like so. Okay, power supply is off. When I turn the power supply on, immediately draws 10 milliamps. I'll flip the switch, goes to 240, and then it hovers around 200, drops down to 130, hovers around there, and bounces between 110 and 140. I would assume we would have a green light. Yeah, we do. We have a green light. and I unhooked the battery. So, all right. So this board appears to boot. Let's hook up the screen and see if we get anything on the screen. So, and then we can move on from there. So, you can work with a lot of different units like this with this method of doing everything in like an exploded view. You can do it with Nintendo Switch. I do that all the time. You can do it with a lot of different units to test individual components. So we are plugged back in. I'm just going to hold it right here. I'm going to turn on the power supply. I get nothing, and then I'm going to flip this on, have my green light, and I have a bad screen. So this screen is bad. So, but this unit does work. So we could technically put this board in one of our bad ones and be good to go. But as a repair person, I want to try to fix the bad board. So let's go ahead and see if we can power it off with the switch. Fades out, goes off, no power draw, turn off the power supply. So we know that this screen is bad. So do we have a good one that we can test this with? So this is like the reason why having a known good board is the way to go. So that is a bad screen. Let me see if I can find a good screen here. Let's see if this one is any good. We're gonna do the same procedure here. We're gonna hook this up. Doing it this way can be frustrating, but you just got to have patience. You don't want to break any of the connectors, because these would be a nightmare to change, especially this little guy right here. So changing him would be, you would literally destroy the board that you're taking it from in order to get it on there. And then I don't even think that installation would be optimum on it. All right, so we have that. We're going to hook our battery back up. Just like so. And then we're going to turn our power supply on. We get 0 current draw. We're going to flip the dial. It does do that thing. It goes, but nothing on the screen. And I can see that the screen is broken. There is a little bit there you can see. So that is 2 broken screens. So all I have is my IPS screens. So I do need to get a test screen. So what do I do when I don't have a test screen here? So I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to turn off my power supply. And I'm going to search for one of these not on AliExpress that I can get a little bit faster. And see that connector is already glitching out. So I got to be very careful. I got to be very careful because this connector is wanting to pop out here. So just going to be careful. I'm going to set it aside and I'll deal with that later. So I have 2 bad screens. So what do I do? Well, I know I need a test screen. I have the IPS screens, but they need a modification. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to eBay. I'll show you my screen in a second here. Let me just get eBay pulled up here. Now, I have a PSP 1000, so this should be screen 1. Nope, screen 3. There it is. So we're going to look for a PSP 1000. I'm showing you this because people ask me how I find my parts. So official OEM screened $23. So this one says US, brand new, 20. Let's see here. It doesn't say how many are sold. What does it say? They're located in North Carolina, so I could get that in a short amount of time. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my cart. And I'm going to go there. And I'm going to get one more. That guy wants $5.45. This guy is 4-day shipping. Or this one. So this one is coming from California. He sold 283. Seems like he has good feedback, so I'm going to add that one. So the first one was a bit of a gamble, but this guy shows that I can get it pretty quick. So let's go back to eBay. And now let's search for PSP 1000 Wi-Fi. See if we can get any kind of Wi-Fi. See, here's a module from the United Kingdom. I do need one of these, but I need the antenna. There it is right there. There's the antenna. $13.67 for shipping. That's a little bit more than I want to pay for an antenna. That's coming from the United Kingdom. All right, so we're just going to go with that and go back here. So I'm going to end it here. I didn't want these videos to be too long, under 30 minutes. So this was basically, you can test these units disassembled. So I need a test screen. I'm going to order those test screens, and then I'm going to see if I can get someone in the UK to order me these UK parts and do that good stuff. So I'm going to call it here, guys. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like the videos, share the videos. I know PSPs are old and outdated, but they're still pretty cool. I'm going to do a lot of stuff with emulation and getting some ROMs for Nintendo, Super Nintendo. So it's going to be a pretty cool retro handheld device when I'm done. And we're going to bring some of these back from the graveyard. So these were trash models, and we're hoping to get these good to go. Thank you so much for watching, and have a fantastic day.